Welcome back. It is Friday, October 27th in the NBA. My five favorite picks are on the way. It's Austin from Calling Our Shot. Let's dive into a recap from yesterday. A lot happier today because we went 2-0 yesterday. We got some winners under our belt finally. Tyrese Maxey's over in points plus assists was free. I think he had 31 points and 8 assists. Then Anthony Davis over 22.5 points, ended with 30 points, 2 sweat-free winners. We certainly needed that. Let's try to continue that momentum. I know it was a bad first 2 days, but NBA is what I consider to be my best sport. So let's hopefully dominate on Friday and continue to hopefully make you guys some money. The best bet segment, I've seen the comments. The best bet segment will be back soon. Just don't feel comfortable putting 1.5 or 2 units on a play just yet, but maybe it comes back this weekend. But either way, I'm going to dive into the picks today. My only promo, and this honestly self-promo, if you can go check out the second channel video, we obviously went to Wembanyama's debut. We'll be at his game actually tonight, which we'll talk about at the end of this video, but go show it some love. We posted it on the second channel, top link in the description. We have a ton of cool videos over there, much different than these videos, but it was really cool. Got to interact with some fans. It was awesome. That's all I can ask. Go check that video out after this one. I'll also link it at the end. But let's dive into the picks today. We're going to start with this first guy, a COS Hall of Famer from last season. Jalen Brunson over 28.5 points plus assists, minus 125 on DraftKings. Now, personally, I would play this at 29.5. FanDuel had the line at 29.5 at the same odds. So I would be an idiot to take it there. I'd play it up to minus 135. And if you're like, Austin, I only have overs and points and assists. I don't have points plus assists. I would lean towards the over in points, but honestly, I like the assists too at 5.5, which is why I combined them both. Because realistically, I could see Brunson ending with 21, 22 points and getting 7 or 8 assists. I could see that happening given how much he has the ball in his hands. But as I said, Jalen Brunson was a COS Hall of Famer last year. What does that mean? That means we cashed a ton with him. I don't remember our official record on him, but we at some point were like 9-0 on Brunson props. Let's see if he can regain that status this season. And in his first game of the year, Brunson didn't look great. Played 33 minutes, 15 points, 6 for 21 from the field, 6 assists on 15 potential assists. The 15 potential assists, which you can find on the NBA Advanced Stats website. I know I get some comments about that. That were more than double than anyone else. The 21 field goal attempts were second behind Julius Randle, who had 22. Look, he had a tough matchup. Drew Holiday, Derek White, and then the guys in the paint with Kristaps Porzingis blocking shots. It was a tough matchup for him, and they obviously defended him pretty well. Today's matchup against the Hawks and DeJounte Murray will be a little bit better. Now, Murray is a good defender in his own regard, but I like Brunson to get back to his spots. I mean, we're talking about a guy like Brunson, shot over nearly 50% from the field last season. I think he gets back. I mean, 29% in game one. Yeah, that's not normally like him. And we saw in the first game of the Hawks season, they allowed Terry Rozier to have 30 points plus assists. LaMelo Ball at 25, and he only shot 4 for 15 from the field. So look at a guy like Brunson. I normally like him to bounce back. This is a Knicks team, a team that I watch a lot. Don't really have a lot of options on offense. They got Brunson, Randall, and Barrett, who played well in game one. I don't anticipate him to continue to play well. Quickly off the bench, he'll get his usage. But outside of that, you got guys out there like Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, Mitchell Robinson. All these guys don't really shoot the ball a ton. So Brunson's going to have the ball in his hands, should play again 33, 35 minutes again tonight, 18 plus field goal times. I'll take my chances that he bounces back. Jalen Brunson, he could have this over in just points alone, but I like the assists in there. Like I said, 15 potential assists in the first game. I like that. Give me his over 28.5 points plus assists. And we love Jalen's apparently today because my second pick is another Jaylen Duran of the Detroit Pistons, over 24.5 PRAs, points, rebounds, and assists, minus 105 on DraftKings. A reminder, PRAs, or as I sometimes abbreviate like PAs, there's a bunch of different abbreviations in the NBA. PRAs, points, rebounds, and assists. So when I say PRAs, that's what I mean, but the next best odds you're getting is about minus 110 on BetMGM. You can take it at 25.5. I don't try to go out of my way to take points plus assists or PRA type props, but I really do like this one today for Duran. If you need a pivot, I like his over in rebounds. I think that's the safest one, but I also like his double-double prop, which is plus 115 on FanDuel. FanDuel naturally doesn't have a PRA line, only a points plus rebounds line, but I still do like Duran, who played well in his rookie season, averaged 9.1 points per game, 9 rebounds per game, 1.1 assists per game, and only 25 minutes. And in his first game of his sophomore season in the starting lineup, 17 points, 8 for 11 shooting, 14 rebounds, 23 potential rebounds, and even 4 assists on 8 potential assists. Now, I don't expect Duran to come out here and consistently get 4 assists, but if he does, then we're going to be in a good spot. But the 17 points on 8 of 11, great. He's going to be a great rebounder offensively and defensively, and that was good for 35 PRAs in a tough matchup against the Miami Heat. Today, he has a much easier matchup against the Hornets. The over-under for this game, 226.5, compared to they just scored 205 combined against the Miami Heat. So, look, I like this game to be much faster paced, which plays well to a guy like Jalen Duran's, what he does best. And we've talked about the last 1-2 seasons. Centers versus the Hornets, usually a money glitch. Now, normally that was against Mason Plumlee, who's now in LA with the Clippers. This team still struggles, though. They get Mark Williams down there, who It's a decent rim protector, but still not all that great. And so I think that we'll see Duran have his chances. I mean, we saw Clint Capella, 15 points, 13 rebounds for Charlotte in game one of the season. He only played like 28-ish minutes, dealt with the foul trouble. And I think actually, I think he got injured in that game, did end up coming back. But you saw the Hawks, 58 points in the paint. This is a team that, and the Hornets, that I just don't think can defend the paint too well. You also think about outside of Cade Cunningham, who was also a great facilitator, back fully healthy. I think he had a double-double, 10 assists in the first game. Outside of him, you got Thompson, a rookie, Killian Hayes, who honestly stinks, and Isaiah Stewart. Outside of those guys, not a lot of volume shooters on this Pistons team. I mean, Jaden Ivey coming off the bench and Alec Burks due to those things, but Bogdanovich still injured. I like Jalen Duran to keep playing pretty well. I think he gets a double-double tonight, but I also like the over 24.5 points, rebounds, and assists. I think he could easily luck into 15 points, 10 rebounds, no sweat bet, chip in a couple assists if he wants to. I like those 8 potential assists. We'll see if that's a theme or just a one-game sample size. Let's get to the third pick. Dennis Schroder of the Toronto Raptors, over 18.5 points plus assists, minus 115 on DraftKings. Now, Schroeder's a guy that had a really good offseason in FIBA. He played really well for Germany, and now he's coming in here and he played really well in his first game of the season. And you look at a Bulls team who will face, and I'm giving the Raptors one chance. Last year, I could not get any read on Raptors props. Blame Nick Nurse for that. But now they have a little bit of a smaller, shot tree in terms of now Fred VanVleet's in Houston. So Schroeder's their starting point guard, and we've seen the Bulls defense over the past season and a half. A team that just likes to pack the paint. I mean, this is a team doesn't have the best rim protection with Nikola Vucevic down there. They pack the paint and make you beat them with 3-pointers in the mid range, which I think plays more to Schroeder's game than does Siakam and Scotty Barnes. We saw in their first game. Dennis, great game, 22 points, 8 for 17 from the field, 7 assists on 17 potential assists in 33 minutes. Played a lot of minutes, was out there a ton, 29 points plus assists. Heck, we'll do that again. All we need is 19 in this game. And while the Raptors likely score more than 97 points, still, he did it in a low-scoring game. Siakam stunk. He didn't shoot well. But at the end of the day, that's Siakam always has those bad games. But this is still a Toronto Bulls team that will try their best to limit him. They'll have Patrick Williams out there. They'll try their best to slow down Pascal Siakam. Scotty Barnes hasn't notoriously played well against the Bulls. And so I think Schroeder, another guy's going to play a lot of minutes, have the ball in his hand a lot. I think he has the best matchup on the court because probably getting guarded by Kobe White or someone out there. So I think that we'll see a good game again from Schroeder. I think this line's still a little bit too soft. I think it should be around 20.5, 21.5. So Dennis the Menace, we're rolling with you over 18.5 points plus assists, minus 115 on DraftKings. Again, if you only have one line, I liked his over in points and assists, which is why I just combined them. I don't want to just pick one and then be wrong and see him get 15, 10 points and like 9 assists. I'd rather just combine them if you can. Now, my 2 final plays of the day will be 2 same game parlays. I wouldn't necessarily coin them as bankroll builders, although people have been asking them, and these might technically fall under that. I really like these 2. We'll talk about the Warriors and Kings game, both of these 2 late night games, and we got the Spurs and Rockets game we'll talk about last. DeAaron Fox, 20 plus points, and Domantas Sabonis, 15 plus points, currently minus 117 on FanDuel. This is a 2-leg Sacramento Kings bonus same game parlay. And honestly, if you can't bet same game parlays, my lean would be Fox's regular over in points at 23.5. You're talking about Fox, we'll just dive right into this. He's coming off a bad game, 18 points. Shot that same amount of times, 18 field goal attempts, 6 for 18, 33 minutes versus Utah. I mean, that was a game. I talked about Utah, the team that notoriously packs the paint, but you saw guys like Harrison Barnes triggered, scored 33. That ain't happening again. Sabonis, we know, scored 22 because we had his under in that game. And then you guys got guys off the bench that played pretty well too. I mean, they were also won that game by 16. This should be a closer game against the Warriors, who did stink on the road last year. Should be better. And I just think that this is a close game. We saw Fox score 24 plus points in 6 of 7 playoff games last year versus Golden State. Now, obviously, that's the playoffs. This is the regular season, but still had good success versus them. Also scored 28 and 22 points versus them in the regular season last season. So this is a guy in Fox that's going to have the ball in his hands a ton. And the Warriors honestly don't have great rim protection. I mean, we saw Devin Booker get to whatever spot he wanted in that game, in their first game. And I just think on the road, their defense isn't going to be much better. Draymond Green is obviously not there. And so I think Fox will be able to get to his spots and do his thing. He's going to play a lot of minutes. We'll get to the free throw line too. Look, I know he had a bad shooting game in the first game, but I don't think Fox will continue that. 20 plus points. He finished just 2 points short of that. And that was a game he shot 6 for 18 from the field. He should be better. And then Sabonis, sure, he wrecked us in game 1. He better not wreck us tonight. He had 15 plus points in 7 straight versus Golden State. And he also, we talked with the Warriors, struggled with size on the interior, give up a lot of points in the paint. They allowed Nurkic to score 14 points in 28 minutes on only 8 field goal attempts. Look, Sabonis sometimes doesn't shoot a ton, but I think he gets more than that. So you also saw Sabonis 15 plus points in 63 of 79 games last season. So I like him. If you want to add, I consider a Chris Paul assist prop in here for like 6 assists. I consider maybe Sabonis 10 rebounds too, but I just didn't think the value moved the needle enough to add another leg. I'd rather just go 20 points, 15 points from each of these two fellas. I certainly think this is a winner. So I'll roll with them minus 117 on FanDuel. The next best odds, I believe, were minus 135 on DraftKings. That's a little too juiced for me. So we'll ride with those two fellas. And the final one will be again at this game. We're going to the Spurs and Rockets game. I'm going to this game again tonight. We're going to film it for the second channel and post it sometime next week. But this is going to be a 3-leg one. I really like these legs. Let's talk about them. Fred VanVleet of the Houston Rockets, 15 plus points. Alperen Sengun, 4 plus assists. And then Victor Wembanyama, 12 plus points, plus 200 on DraftKings. Now, this is a 3-leg same game parlay. One unit will win you a little over 2. Now, let's talk about Sengun, though, because it was over. If I had to just take one prop, if you're like, Austin, I cannot do same game parlays. This is the second one you've done. Can't do it. I would take Sengun's over an assist. That was the first leg I was going to look at. But I also think those assists will go to Fred VanVleet and other guys. And I think Fred's going to bounce back. And I really do think Wembanyama's getting at least 12 points, if not hitting his regular over. So I'll keep it simple, though. The Rockets sucked in game 1 of the season. I mean, they lost by 30 to the Magic. But in that game, we saw Sengun, 6 assists on 10 potential, most on the team, tied with VanVleet. VanVleet also had 10 potential assists. And you saw VanVleet scored 14 points, 5 of 13 shooting, did play the most minutes, 34 on Houston. Now, this Spurs team we know loves to run in transition. I like this, we saw in that first game, they love to run in transition. They left a lot of guys open, and I think VanVleet gets some open looks. Now, I'm not necessarily sure who guards Alperen Sengun. If they put Wembanyama on him, even better, because I think they'll try to take Wembanyama away from the paint, involve Sengun. But he's also just a really good passer, and I like him to be a good facilitator today. Even with Wemby in the paint, you won't see a ton of points in the paint allowed, whether he's guarding Sengun or not. Wemby will come over and try to protect the paint. And so I think at the end of the day, 4 assists and even 15 points from VanVleet. I like that. Now we need 12 points from Wembanyama. Wanted to do 10 points for him, but I think he can easily get us 12. Heck, maybe even his regular over. He scored 15 points in his first game, as we know. Only 6 for 9 from the field. 9 of those points came in the fourth quarter. Struggled with foul trouble, 5 fouls, only 23 minutes played. I think he plays a lot better. I mean, after the game I was watching him, he just walked straight to the locker room. He was not happy with what happened in that game. I think he plays better, and I think in that fourth quarter, the Spurs finally realized, oh, we can get him the ball, not on the 3-point line and let him chuck threes. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I don't know what they were doing. I think they get the ball to him in the mid-range / in the post, and they just let him go to work. And I think that's where he plays pretty well. He can score 12 points in a quarter. I think he maybe gets that in the first half. I think they get the ball to him a lot more. But taking this at plus 200 odds, I think is great. Put one unit on to win nearly 2. I think it's a great spot here. I needed something to sweat at the game. I don't go to a ton of NBA games, so of course I need some action on it. But those are my 5 favorite picks of the day. Hopefully we go 5-0, continue that 2-0 day we had from yesterday. Keep that momentum going. Let's dominate this season. Of course, if you want to go show some love to the second channel, please. It is the Wembanyama video. I caught this shirt at the game. Go show the love to the video. It is on the screen. Only video link on the screen. Go check it out. We have a bunch of other videos coming up on the channel. Get some NFL, college football. You have some MLB. We have all that stuff. But check out the Wembanyama video. Go show some love to the second channel. 5 picks, 5 winners. That's how you bounce back. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.